Greetings, Star Trek Fleet Commanders. I am the Angry Rhino. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. So here in between arcs, trying to find things, maybe catch up on, and not try to fit some of these old things that maybe I missed, inside of a new arc where you want to focus on the new content. So, and I know I mentioned this several videos ago, that I didn't do a video about these Borg scouts from the Voyager loop. So here's me finally getting back to it. I will do a video showing you what to do. Now, I did show you the systems. They are the token systems along this main Voyager chain that have an actual name. You see how this one here has a number, or it has a bunch of letters and a number. That is the anomaly sample system. You can see when you click on this system, you don't see the anomaly samples here in the little box here, and they're interceptors, or it's labeled with having interceptors, even though there's actually all ship types in there. Annoying. This one has the letter and the number. There's your anomaly samples. Here's the name. That's your Borg scouts. Again, letters and numbers are your anomaly samples. And the smaller ones up here, here's your smaller Borg scouts with the name Shalika. And your FSEP numbers, again, the anomaly sample ones. So you got Missilep, that's a middle one. And you have Nera, and that's the bigger one for the Borg scouts. It's only 54, so you can get to the bigger Borg scout system relatively quickly. Now let's talk about crews. In my opinion, these hostiles are not tough. That is something you may have to try out for yourself. There is going to be, let's see, like the warp ranges vary between all these Borg scout systems. So just like with the anomaly samples, you're most likely ready to do grinding in that system or mining if your Voyager has the right warp range. You can kind of gauge it on that. You should be able to kill these Borg scouts. They're not that tough. This is a crew I'm rolling with, partially because a lot of the really good below deck people I want saved for if somebody wants to do a wave defense, which kind of sucks about that. So how many of those below deck people am I not using regularly now, because I want to be prepared if a wave defense opportunity arises. But we're grinding loot, so 511. I think 511 needs to be on your ship. Now, you can make a case that maybe New Picard. And I can actually try to do that. We shall see. Problem is I won't have... I'll need to find Paris. Where the hell is Paris? So let's put him here. And let's go with defense, not... What do I have these assholes doing? I have these assholes doing something, but I'll take them off. Now you can roll with, say, 511 as your captain, and therefore you get your mitigation there. And put somebody like maybe Khan or Kang on the side if you think you might be a little low. Or you can go for even more loot and put the New Picard there as captain, 5 on the side, so you're taking advantage of all the loot increase abilities. You do have a little bit of damage increase with Picard's officer ability. It's not great, but... Now you notice I have Neelix on the side. Yes, that is because you have to summon these scouts. So get some cost efficiency while you're summoning the scouts. And you don't have to. You don't have to. But I do recommend it because that means you can kill more of these scouts for the same price, really. So, yes, I stacked some defense for Paris. You see I have the Doctor below. Now, I have Trip here. I'm almost certain he doesn't affect the Borg Scouts because it specifically says Herodians and species J792 bag of dick assholes. So, disappointing there. But you never know. Programming might have gotten screwed up somewhere. And since you're going to this area, maybe you want to grind some of that Voyager bullshit. Alright, talked about crews. So let's send out, just like any other token system, and you can tell a little symbol here, Delta Quadrant Borg coordinates. It costs 100 of those. Show you the picture once it allows me to. Right here, they look like that. Weird little purple border frame kind of thing with a green Borg symbol looking thing in the middle. And I have a lot. And bam, there you go. Now, since I was talking so much about loot increasers like Doctor, New Picard, 511, it also affects this. The Incursions Exocom. Probably should have, and I may have actually mentioned it, I can't remember, but I probably did mention it, I just haven't shown you the process here. The way that these scouts drop their messages is different from how it normally goes. Normally, when you're out in faction space and you find a scout and you kill it, you have a chance of getting a box, and inside that box is the message. So, you're not even guaranteed in regular space. Well, these scouts that you summon here, and I'll show you, give you the evidence, visual evidence of that. The messages are the loot that they drop. Not in a box, it's just the loot you actually get from killing them is messages. So, therefore, all these loot increase officers increase the amount you get. Now, I have done this many times. And yes, I've done it many times and I've never bothered to show you. Lost track of it, I guess. You can see here's all the messages I got. That's right, total between all three of them, I have over 1 million messages. The numbers that these hostiles, especially these big ones here, the numbers are pretty good. Pretty good. May sound great, and we're still, trying to spread this out because it takes so long to get to these dumbass systems. Kind of pisses me off about Voyager. Especially this loop, it just takes way too long to travel out to some of these systems. Now it sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? Of course there's a downside. Of course there's a downside. You noticed how all the messages weren't the same. Why were all my messages not the same number or close to it? Because what I had at 200,000, one at 400,000, one at 700,000. Why are they not closer together? I'm a dual faction, so my Romulan and my Klingon should be closer because turning in the same amount every day. Well, guess who decides what faction messages the hostile has? Not you. That's the downside of this. And I get some of you have probably done this. I understand that. Some of you haven't. Yeah. The way I haven't even been able to find out a pattern either. It's not like it goes Romulan and then a Klingon and then a Federation and then a Romulan, and then a Klingon in the Federation, and then a Romulan and a Klingon. It doesn't even do that. It really appears to be completely random. Now, what is not random is it's actually just not one faction message or one faction's message. Whatever I'm trying to say. Let's just hit the button and I'll show you. Click on the hostile coming in. Click the rewards box here. Bam. See, there you go. 12,000 Romulan messages. 593 Klingon messages. That's what I was trying to get at. There's more than one faction in here. There is a big one and then there is a small one. But let's see, 12,000 and 500. See how much I get total. Look at that. Barely did any damage to me. Oh, that's right. It doesn't go in your damn cargo, does it? It's actually been a while since I've done this. I don't remember how. That's right. I mean, you have to kind of go in here and remember the numbers. No, I don't remember what the numbers were. No, I don't remember what the numbers were. Exactly, anyway. But wasn't this Romulan one 200,000 something? Right? Right? I don't remember what it was. I want to... And it's harder now because, like, I have so many. It's hard to remember the number. I literally have to write it down. So let's write it down. Let's see, 302.8 Romulan 722.2 and let's write down the Fed. Trying to be quick. 431.3. Okay. Alright, we should be ready to summon another asshole. And you can see the cost here. The cost should be at base 500. Or is it 400? It's something. Whatever the hell it is. You see how now it's 286. Well, that's not the base cost. Because of Neelix, mine is noticeably cheaper. Let me run away a little bit because I want to look at the guy here. Okay, so 11.8 thousand Romulan, 921 Klingon. But as you can see what the pattern is, it's exactly the same as it was before. Like, where are the Federation ones? Can I have some Federation messages? No, I can't? Alright, cool, thanks. That's fine. However, alright, I will look in the battle log in a minute. I'm just trying to collect some of these and show you. Okay, so we went up to 339.4 thousand. What were we at? We were at 302. So we went to from 302,000 to 339,000. It wasn't even 12,000 Romulan messages. So that's an increase of like what, almost 3 times. That's pretty good. Klingon messages were at 722. Now we're at 725. So 3,000. So again, approximately 3 times what I was getting before. That is with 60% from Picard, 80% from 5 of 11. So that would be 140%, 20 from the Doctor, 180%. And what do I get from Voyager itself? I think I get 50% from Voyager itself. So that's 210%. Additional 310% total. So yeah, Trip isn't having an effect here, which is kind of disappointing. Summon another one. Let's see. Finally, some Federation. But there is a pattern with this, though. You see how the larger one is Klingon now and the smaller one is Federation. Should do that. So therefore, when the Federation is the biggest, the smaller one is the Romulan. That's probably the only pattern that I noticed. Alright, killing. Bam. Yeah, well, it jumped up to 761,000. Do it again. Where? And because you are summoning these Borg jackasses just like the bag of dicks, you don't want somebody to come in here and kill them. You really don't. It's not the end of the world if you have enough of this summoning juice, so. But what I always like to do is I always like to travel towards the guy so gets in battle quicker and takes him. And as always, even, this isn't the bag of dick species 4789J2 or whatever the hell they're called. You notice the cooldown on the ability. You're still going to have a cooldown for the ability. Though it's not that long. Excuse me. There you go. Federation is the big one. Romulan is the small one. So let's check out totals here. Yeah. 40,000 increase since I first wrote it down for the Romulan. About an 80,000 increase on the Klingons. And about a 47,000 increase on the Federation. So you can see how quickly you can get a lot. At least if you're in this bigger system. For me, my turn-in each day with my Romulan Klingon is 1,600. It's like 1,600. But that is because I'm Icon with Klingon and Romulan. 2.4 million to go to 15 billion lock, which is awesome. But with the Federation, I'm still stuck way down here at Champion, so I can turn these in, but it's a lot cheaper. You get a lot less, but it's still worth it. Faction credit is faction credit. You can do a lot of things with it. Ships. Some refits, depending on where you are at. And you can get these recruit tokens. Now, if you haven't maxed any of these standard faction recruit chests, or the officers from those original faction recruit chests, that's a good way to do it. Get all those faction credits and turn them in for the faction recruits. And even if you have maxed them out, it's a great source for transporter patterns, and then all the good officers from the transporter patterns you can eventually max out as well. All right, let me show you the battle log just so you can see how the battle is going. At least for me, it's not going that tough. Even against a level 54 simulated cube, it's 800 million. It's 8 times as big as my Voyager here. And you can see it only goes 2 rounds. Yes, I do have the Borg alcove. It's not leveled up that high, so I only get an extra 14%. But it is classified as a Delta Quadrant hostile. So, Borg alcove and the Voyager's ship ability is really doing all the heavy lifting here for you. So you don't need too many officers for extra damage. Now, take a look here. I'm doing 330 million with this critical hit, and it's mitigating 97 million. It's mitigating about a third of the shot. That's why I suggest maybe Kang if you're having a little bit of trouble with it, because then you'll reduce the cube's mitigation. But they really aren't tough at all. They're only kicking out 2.5 million damage to you. And even here with this big shot, or this big weapon with multiple shots, the shots are actually doing less damage. So, they're not very tough at all. It's relatively easy. it can be kind of a pain in the ass because you got to fly all the way out here. But something else that's good about these systems is take a look at this 54 guy. Just randomly floating in here. And you see he's an explorer. You see he's a battleship. Take a look at this. Yes, it does say 4-star broken parts. And it does say 2,700. So if you think increasing your loot by 300%, and that was without New Beverly, if you still want to do some of this 4-star stuff, or maybe you're still in 4-star land and your Voyager can reach up here, it's a good source for broken parts. It really can be, assuming you can kill all these with your Voyager. And just to show you, see, interceptor parts there, explorer parts here. So you can choose to do that. Now, I think I only got 2 of these boxes. Let's see if I get a lucky pull in here. I did. Okay. You notice I did get 2 boxes from 4 or 5 of these hostiles. This one in the box. No, not Epic Eclipse directives. Those are from something else. Commerce insignia. Extra commerce insignia from these summoned Borg cube assholes. Get you some of those extra commerce pulls. Whatever loot it is that you're choosing to get is a reward for you. Plus, remember the field training and the dolomite particles. This portion of the loop can help speed that up and maybe get you those dolomite particles quicker. Maybe. It's still not going that fast for me. I mean, it's been, 6 months, and I'm like a quarter away through that stupid-ass field training. So, very annoying. Anyway, I think that's about it for this video. If you have questions about this portion of the loop, feel free to comment below. Not that I really have to tell you all to do that. You guys are pretty good about the comments. But share information if you have it. Have you noticed any other trick or benefit from these scouts in the Voyager loop? Have you tried them yourself? Do you enjoy the fact that this was added to the loop and you can now get a butt ton of more faction messages and ain't got to go out hunting for it in regular faction space, because that was a pain in the ass. Be sure to like and subscribe. I am the Angry Rhino. Shields up, Commanders.